pleasure to welcome you all here for our media briefing on the Invest Sri Lanka forum that we intend holding at the end of the month, as well as to give you some insights as to the developments in the Colombo Stock Exchange and the greater capital markets, and what sort of transpired last year and flowing into this year as well. So thank you very much, friends from the media, for being here. Let me first introduce the members of the board who are here at the head table, and I'll start from this corner. Mr. Arjun Hera, the independent director, as well as the current BOI chair, and then we have Rajiv Bandaranaike, the current CEO of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Mr. Ray Abeyewardena, director CSE, former chairman of CSE as well, Mr. Dintu Abesekara, director CSE, Mr. Kosal Gamani and Mr. Suchiba Iris along the way to the corner of the room. I think Mr. Surendi Silva will probably join us a little later. So once again, welcome. And I know we've not probably had this media briefing as we normally would every year, so we've sort of skipped the year. Last year was quite hectic, but it's good to be amongst friends from the media. This briefing really will focus more on the event that we have on the 27th and the 28th of March, the Invest Sri Lanka Capital Market Investor Forum 2025. You would appreciate that we are having such an event on a scale as large as this. I think after about 11 or 12 years, we last had it, I think, in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. It's, as we all know, Sri Lanka has gone through a long period of turmoil over the last sort of 5 years, transformed, reformed, and now currently is in its recovery phase, and has achieved a good growth trajectory. I think we got the stats just today. The Sri Lankan economy grew at 5.4% for Q4 of 2024 and has topped over 5% for the full year. So we are at a juncture, I think, in our country that we've not seen many times before, and it's quite important that the capital market plays its part in terms of this whole, I would call it a renaissance now. I won't call it a recovery. I think we are beyond the recovery and it's about growth now. So this event that we are having on the 27th and 28th we've got confirmations already of close to 100 foreign investors who will come for that forum. About 30 odd of them are actually fund managers of funds, and the rest are businessmen, investors, all of that. We also have local investors, local market intermediaries, everyone connected with the capital markets ecosystem, regulators, all of them that would be present. And so far, I think we are looking at a crowd in excess of 400 participating at that event. It is going to be an event of national scale. It is quite important for Sri Lanka to be able to attract foreign capital, FDI flows. And the Colombo Stock Exchange believes that the CSE can actually be the catalyst for that and have the event. So we've got government representation coming from the governor of the central bank, who would deliver the keynote address. We would have the SEC chairman present giving opening remarks. We would have fund managers who've invested in Sri Lanka over the years. That's Mr. James Johnston from who's the co-head of Redfield in the Emerging and Frontier Markets portfolio manager. And we would also have Mr. Matthias Martinson, who is also another who's a founding partner and the chief investment officer of Tundra Fund, giving their perspectives of investing in Sri Lanka. We would have the Deputy Minister of Capital markets, Dr. Harshan Surya Peruna also, and like I mentioned, the governor, Mr. Nandalal as well. We also are going to have Ms. Ruini Fernando from Deloitte now, who would also be giving a presentation on country and sectoral performances from Sri Lankan macro perspective. We have quite a few sessions of panel discussions thereafter that would have even the Deputy Minister of Economic Development and the Minister of Labour, Professor Anil Jayantha, who would also sit on a panel. So fairly senior government officials, bureaucrats, and capital market specialists who would actually present Sri Lanka's case to these foreign investors who would actually be coming to Sri Lanka. So I think apart from the event itself, I think we can also take some credit for bringing over 100 foreigners and helping Sri Lankan tourism. I hope Rajiv, maybe we can add them on as a sponsor now that we have quite a few foreign participants. So that's essentially the agenda, and what we hope to showcase is the investment opportunities that are there in Sri Lanka. So it's not just about listed equity. We all know the case that the current equity markets have. We are the lowest valued market in this region. I think we are still at about 8.5 times price earnings ratio. If you compare that to even the closest I think in the region is probably Bangladesh. I was there just a week ago, and I can tell you, even through the turmoil that that country is going, their market is trading at a 12 times. So it shows the potential that we as a market, we as a country have, and that's something that we really want to capitalize. So I actually earnestly ask our friends in the media to give due coverage for this national event that will take place at the end of the month, and to help us make this event a really successful one that will benefit the country as a whole. So that's it on the sort of event. But I would also think post-event, we are also facilitating one-on-one meetings for all of those investors with Sri Lankan companies, listed companies that want to meet these investors. So that will also take place over the next day, the 28th, which is sort of all the one-on-one meetings. And I think we've also arranged some outings for the visitors so that they get to see parts of Sri Lanka as well. It's not going to be just business only. So that being said, I would also like to spend a few minutes in terms of updating all of you the work that the Colombo Stock Exchange has done in collaboration with the regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we have indeed sort of done quite a bit over the last 2 years since we last had a media briefing. Sorry, but one important thing that I forgot about the event, so I'm just going to go back to that, I beg your pardon, is that we would have also the 4 regional markets, that is Pakistan, Bangladesh and the Maldives, also being present. We have a panel discussion with the leadership of those exchanges at our forum. Now we've done this because we believe collaboration is the way forward. We believe we all belong to this frontier market category, and that sort of showcasing the case that each of these markets make will be good from a foreign investor perspective. We think that foreign investors will find it more interesting to come. All these 4 markets, we will be also signing an MOU along with the Colombo Stock Exchange, where we would agree on how we collaborate going forward. So I think the important message is that these 4 frontier markets in the South Asian region are also coming together for the first time to really sort of showcase the investment case. And I can tell you that Sri Lanka stands out. I've been to all these markets, and I can tell you we are not only the cheapest, but we are the most advanced out of the 4 in terms of systems, processes, governance, investor education, in any metrics that you take. So it will show us very well in the international stage when you compare to the region. So just wanted to touch base on that. Coming back to sort of the work we've done and what we're looking at, I'll start off first with the main sort of things ahead. The CSC and the SAC have jointly selected 12 projects as priority areas to focus in terms of capital market development, and that's going to happen immediately. It's already, the process has started. These committees are comprised of very senior individuals sitting on it. So you've got 2 commissioners sitting from the SEC side. You've got 2 directors of the board sitting on each of the committees. So very 4 senior officials, both from the regulator and the market. And also then representatives from the Secretariat of the CSC and the SEC as well. In addition, we've got market intermediary representatives to get the market view. So these are very high-powered committees, and I'll just quickly mention what those 12 are focused on. So the first committee, and I think the number 1 priority for a lot of us, is demutualization of the stock exchange. So the first committee is sort of mandated to expedite the demutualization process. The second is a committee looking at developing the corporate debt market. So we know, even though we have corporate debt listed, liquidity and turnover levels are pretty low. Our market is dominated by equity. So we have a committee because we believe that's low-hanging fruit and we can actually develop the market much faster. So corporate debt is the second committee. Then we have a new, the third committee is introduction of new products. You would recall the CSC has done a lot of work over the last 3 or 4 years. In that respect, we brought in a whole host of new products. But we are focusing on what other things we can do. Exchange traded funds, derivatives, commodities are not traded in our market. So we are looking at all of those. That's the third committee. The fourth is to look at the collective investment schemes or unit trusts as they are known in Sri Lanka, mutual funds in other parts of the world, to focus on that, and that is how we think we can really broad-base the market. Not going at an individual level, but having unit trust or mutual funds as a tool that the general public can use in terms of accessing capital markets at low deal size. So that's the area of focus. The fifth is education, awareness, training and research. So we've looked at that. I think that is needed in terms of especially the financial literacy aspect, which is pretty low in Sri Lanka. So we'll focus on that. The sixth committee is in terms of facilitating new listings. So we over the last 3 or 4 years introduced new boards. We brought the SME board, the Empower board. We've also now launched the SOE board, even though we've not really had any listings on it. So we broad-based the boards a lot to get new companies to list, and there is a committee that is going to focus on that aspect of new listings. We also have another committee that focuses on attracting new funds, both local and foreign. So how can we get more players allocating resources and coming into capital markets? That's also a committee. We're also looking at facilitating and implementing a CCP, a central counterparty settlement system. As you know, our market is still, we progressed last year from T+3 to T+2. However, we are still at T+2. And there is a settlement risk inherently run that investors take on the settlement cycle. So we are trying to do away with that by having a CCP, and to that effect we've already established the legal entity and got approval. So there is a subsidiary of CSC that is undertaking the central counterparty settlement system, just like we have a subsidiary that does the depository or handles the scriptless shares that sort of get traded. We also have another committee that will look at the establishment of a multi-asset class derivative exchange. You might have seen that the SEC did call EUIs for that some time ago, and and the CSC along with the NCDX, the Derivative Exchange of India, put in a joint bid for that derivative exchange. It will be established in the port city, and we hope that we can actually be a part of that as well. So there is a committee to drive that. We are also looking at how we can enable an effective regulatory framework. There are certain onerous regulations that both the regulator and the CSE might look at to facilitate more activity in capital markets. So that's also being looked at by a separate committee. And we have another one that is looking at the digital transformation. So how we sort of become more digital, even go to the extent of having virtual securities. So that's something again that we put as a priority. And the last but not least is strengthening market risk management. So to really bring in best practices, systems, processes that can mitigate the risk that is inherent in capital markets, because market risk you can't run away from. Any market is exposed to that. So I think those are the committees and the priorities that we've lined up. And like I said, both the SEC and the CSC are really going all out in terms of trying to sort of achieve that. So those are some of the projects in the past. I think if you look at the market, you would know that last year was a very good year. We had something like a 50% return on the all share price index in 2024. We were the second best performing stock market in the world in dollar terms. I think second only to Pakistan, where your dollarized return was close to 70% for 2024, because we had the exchange appreciate from 365 down to about 360, whatever number, down to about 395. So we did have a very, very good year, and I think the start to this year also has been great. We've seen higher turnover levels and sort of averaging maybe over 3 billion now YTD, even though this month is a little down. You may have seen some choppiness in the market for 2025. The market is probably almost flat, but I think that's again a part of consolidation, and as long as investor activity and fundamentals support it, I think from a stock exchange point of view, we are not worried whether the market goes up or down. We are worried really if we have the proper systems and controls, and that trading volumes are decent, providing liquidity for any investor to get in or get out. So that's how markets have sort of reacted. We've also, I think, done quite a few other initiatives, and one thing that we are trying to bring in is XBRL. That's a reporting system that would automate companies to report their financial statements. You know, listed companies have to report their financials on a quarterly basis, and we are trying to sort of standardize that to international standards and have that automated system where that will become more efficient and hopefully help the companies do the reporting, but more importantly help the investors to be able to have financials in one format, in conformity to anyone else, that you can analyze data, do valuations, etc. At a much easier sort of way. So I think that is a big development that we sort of expect. We are also looking at our depository. It's currently 100% owned subsidiary, and we are looking at expanding beyond just the depository that deals in the securities, both equity as well as debt. We did buy a secretarial firm and merged it into that entity, because we believe we can actually play a role in the whole secretariat ecosystem, especially for the listed companies. So that's a new line of business that the CSC put on its books last year, and we've seen good progress. We've seen good progress, good take-up. We have a great team that we acquired, and I think that is going to strengthen the CDS in terms of diversifying its revenue streams and not being too dependent on one. We're also looking at a new surveillance system. The board has just approved we are going to get top of the market, best in class sort of solution that's used. That will add a lot of confidence to investors that the surveillance system is a robust, automated system, and we will deploy cutting-edge technology like AI that will be able to sort of highlight certain abnormal market activity that may need regulatory intervention. So I think that is something that we are looking at and working on. I think across the organization, digitization is a key priority. I know for the country itself, it is a key priority of this government. So we will also look at all our platforms in terms of the trading platforms, the research, market data, corporate information, settling the transactions, integrating internet banking, making the system far more efficient, and digitizing a lot of the processes. So we've put that in also to our sort of plans, and we expect to sort of push that forward. So apart from that, I think one main other pillar is the whole education aspects. The CSC spends a lot of money and time to conduct awareness programs across the country, tie up with universities. We tie up with educational bodies like the CFA, for example, and we run the CFA Research Challenge for the universities. We engage with the local universities and have our own sort of quiz program. We have established 100 capital market clubs in schools island-wide. And I think that program, even though it comes from the previous government, I think we'll have support from this government to expand on that and try and push that. So on the education side, we really want to take the financial literacy level that is prevailing in the country to a much higher level, and only then I think that we'll get usage of these products being taken up. We've also expanded branches. For the longest time, CSC hadn't opened a branch. We've opened new branches in Patiklu and Panadura, and we are just about to open one in Bandaragala. So we are expanding our branch presence because we do understand, even though digital platforms can be used, people can trade digitally, that having physical presence also in some areas is important. So we, I think, cover all 9 provinces, and we will look at maybe even further strengthening the branch network based on how well the trading activity and the expansion of the capital markets take place across the country. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there, and the board, the management are available to answer your questions, so please do engage, direct your questions. We have to sort of take questions and answer. And thereafter, I think we have a networking session with cocktails and food. So do stay around, do talk and engage with the staff. And thank you very much once again for all the support all of you in the media have given the Colombo Stock Exchange. Very good evening.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වරට ඔබේ ආතරයිටිස් ඇතුළු සියලුම සන්ධි රෝග සඳහා නිෂ්පාදිත 100% ස්වභාවික විසඳුම දීගායු සන්ධි පුනර්ජීවන ප්‍රතිකාර කට්ටලය. ශරීර අභ්‍යන්තරයට පෝෂණය ලබා දී ආතරයිටිස් ඇතුළු සියලුම සන්ධි රෝග සුව කිරීමට දීගායු ජොයින්ට් හීලර් කරල්. ශරීරයේ සන්ධි රෝග ස්ථානවල මතුපිට බාහිර ආලේපනය සඳහා දීගායු ජොයින්ට් හීලර් ආලේපය. ආලේපයෙන් පසු පහසුවෙන් සන්ධි වේදනා ස්ථාන තැවීමට විදුලි සන්ධි තවනය. මේ සියලුම ප්‍රතිකාර එකම කට්ටලයක් ලෙස දැන් ලබාගත හැක. කුරිය මගින් නිවසට ගෙන විද්දීමට රුපියල් 5990ක් පමණි. අදම අමතා ඔබේ සියලු සන්ධි රෝග ඉක්මනින් සුව කරගන්න.